This is solving linear equations, the 4 problems on your review. Remember, when you're solving linear equations, you follow some steps. The first thing you want to look for are parentheses. If you have the parentheses, you need to use the distributive property. Okay, and just an example of that is if you had 2 parentheses x plus 4, then you go 2 times x equals 2x, 2 times 4 equals 8. That's the distributive property. Okay, the next thing that you want to do is you want to make sure you combine like terms. Okay, an example of combine like terms is if you had 3x plus 4x minus 7, you would take 3x and 4x and put them together and you'd have 7x minus 7. Okay, the next step after that is that you might look to see if you have fractions, and that's only if you want to remove the fractions. And the way you remove the fractions is to divide by the denominator. Divide by the denominator if the denominators are the same. Okay, the next step is letters left, numbers right, and then you're going to divide. Those are the steps you use to to undo equations to solve your equation. Okay, here we go. So let's take a look at number 1. Right, the very first thing we're going to do is add 7 to both sides. You get 9x equals 0. You're going to divide both sides by 9. Because remember, whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other. And your answer is 0. Now, you can always fill in your answer that you get back into the equation just to check it. So I could say 9, right here is my x. I'm going to put 0 minus 7. Does that, I'm putting a question mark, equal a negative 7? Well, 9 times 0 is 0. Minus 7 is definitely equal to a negative 7. So negative 7 does equal negative 7. You've got the right answer. I suggest on the test that you always check your answers. All right, let's come over here and look at number 2. All right, the very first thing you're going to do is get rid of the negative 6. Okay, so how can I get rid of that negative 6? I'm going to add 6 to both sides. Now, some of you might have been worried about that fraction there, but we'll work it out. That crosses that out. You've got x divided by 4 equals 1. Okay, to get rid of that fraction, just multiply by the denominator. So I'm going to multiply this by 4 and this one by 4. So here, 4 over 4 turns out to be 1, so you have your 1x. 1 times 4 is 4. So we're saying x is equal to 4. Okay, so put it back into the equation. Just to check, you could say negative 6 plus 4 over 4. Does that equal negative 5? Okay, you got a negative 6. 4 over 4 is just 1. Negative 6 plus 1 is negative 5, and yes, it does equal negative 5. Okay, let's go look at number 3. Number 3. Okay, you've got a fraction here, so let's go ahead and get rid of the fraction. I'm going to multiply this by 3 and this by 3. Normally you do that parentheses, but there's nothing next to the parentheses, so we're not going to have to do anything. You can actually just pull it straight out. Okay, so I'm going to come over here. That right there is 1, so I've got b plus 9 equals 24. I'm going to subtract 9 from both sides. And I get v equals, let's see, 14 minus 9 is 5, 15. Okay, so let's check. Let's put it back in here. You got 15 plus 9 divided by 3. We want to see, does that equal 8? Okay, 15 plus 9, that's 24. 24 divided by 3 is equal to 8. So 8 does equal 8. Okay, let's look at number 4, our last linear review problem. Subtract 7 from both sides. You get 8n equals 11 minus 4, 7 is 4, 24, divide by 8, and n is equal to 3. All right, let's double check. Put 8 in for the n, put your 3, plus 7. Does that equal 31? Okay, 8 times 4 is 24, plus 7, that equals 31. So 31 does equal 31. You've got the right answer.